The old man perversely ordered the girl, and after speaking, he obsessively sucked his fingers. Selina dared not speak out in anger because she was the slave of this local tyrant. In that turbulent and impoverished era, the disabled old Jin rose to prominence through alchemy, buying gold ornaments from villagers at low prices to smelt and extracting substantial profits. However, he was a ruthless rich man, becoming a local tyrant. Besides making money, old Jin had another hobby, which was abusing and playing with young girls. Villagers often tried to curry favor by sending their daughters to old Jin in exchange for money. No one knew exactly what the girls went through because every girl who came out of there became mentally unstable. But money can make the devil push the millstone, and there were always girls in old Jin's small building. Selina's father was not a good person. He indulged in gambling, drugs, and prostitution, and his main occupation was squandering the family fortune with a hobby of domestic violence against his wife. Under years of torment, Selina's mother ultimately chose to commit suicide. Now, he owes a huge gambling debt, so he set his sights on Selina. He tightly grabbed Selina's arm, ignoring her cries and struggles, intending to use her to exchange for money with old Jin. When passing by the tea house, he didn't forget to boast to the villagers that he would soon be living a good life. The villagers were used to it, and not a single person reached out to help Selina. At the entrance of old Jin's house, the father and daughter happened to encounter a mother and daughter coming out. The girl looked dazed, having lost the ability to respond to the outside world. It should be noted that she had only entered this small courtyard a few days ago. Selina was so frightened that her legs went weak, and she repeatedly begged her father to change his mind, but he still held her arm tightly and led her into the small building. Old Jin looked Selina up and down with some interest in his eyes, then approached her, sniffing and touching. Selina's father was still promoting her, saying Selina had fair skin and a beautiful appearance, with no scars anywhere on her body. Most importantly, she was young and healthy, and old Jin could use her for a long time. So, old Jin asked Selina how old she was. She was so scared that she was trembling like a leaf and couldn't say a word. Unexpectedly, old Jin grabbed her hair, first sniffing her skin to smell the scent of a young girl, then disgustingly licking her face. Old Jin warned her to always maintain respect and to answer every question he asked. Old Jin was very satisfied and offered an unprecedented high price. As soon as he sent Selina's father away, he couldn't wait to inspect the goods. Leaning on a cane, old Jin sat across from Selina and told her to take off her clothes. Crying and trembling, Selina complied. Old Jin stared intently. Selina cried while washing. The soap she once couldn't afford now only made her feel nauseous. Old Jin watched, feeling a surge of excitement. That day, Selina went through a nightmarish evening, her screams echoing through the small bamboo building. Meanwhile, her father was using the money from selling his daughter to treat his friends to drinks and entertainment. The landlady couldn't bear to watch and asked how he could treat his daughter this way, but he replied that he had raised Selina for 18 years, so she should give everything to repay him. At midnight, after old Jin fell asleep, Selina dressed and escaped from the small building. Old Jin's blind son heard the noise but didn't react, as every girl sent there would try to escape. Old Jin didn't care when he found out.
Because they had already been betrayed by their families and had nowhere to go. Selina ran home frantically and her father was sound asleep.
Selina cried out to wake her father, clinging to his leg and begging desperately, but her father was unmoved and instead urged her to go back. She was now old Jin's property. Selina was driven out of the house, and like all the girls before her, she could only return to that dark, sunless building. Selina took out a straw mat, laid it on the ground, and silently lay down to sleep. However, she was not resigned, and was determined to change her fate through her own efforts. The landlord's maid was bathing upstairs, completely unaware. The blind servant was downstairs, blissfully enjoying the bathwater dripping on him. From the first day Selina arrived, he fell in love at first sight, but he knew he had no chance. He could only listen to the sounds from upstairs when the landlord abused Selina, burning with desire. Who would have thought that Selina would actively seek him out and chat with him gently? Under the goddess's gentle words, Dormeng revealed his background completely. He was nominally the adopted son of the landlord, old Jin, but in reality, he was just his slave. Even though he was blind, he still had to take care of old Jin's daily needs and didn't even have the right to eat at the table. If he made the slightest mistake, he would suffer a beating from old Jin. Domon tried to escape, but he was caught not far away. Not only did he suffer abuse, but the ruthless old Jin also took out a branding iron and blinded him. Since then, Domon became completely numb, barely surviving, watching the girls come and go, being abused by old Jin without a trace of sympathy or emotion. After all, he was like a clay idol crossing a river, unable to protect himself. But Selina did not blame him for his indifference. Instead, she embraced him with compassion. The two felt a sense of shared suffering because they had a common enemy, old Jin. The next day at breakfast, Selina even took the initiative to invite Domon to join them at the table. After being stopped by Lao Jin, she personally served the food to Dormeng, who was deeply moved, and the image of the goddess became even more elevated. Winning over Dormeng was the first step in Selina's plan, and the second step was to lull Lao Jin. For this, Selina needed to endure desperately. Lao Jin did not change his nature at the dining table. He stretched his foot,